Alrighty. Thanks again for joining us and taking the time to chat with us. We really appreciate it. And let's dive into the questions.
All right.
Okay, so today you dropped a groovy new single, Coming Closer, featuring Julia Romana and G.L.A.M. Can you sort of take us through like how the different elements of that song came together?
So I was working with this producer group. They're twins, actually. They're called Too Fresh, Kendo and Shweez. And I walked into the studio and I was like, hey, let's make a house track. I was like, let's just make some house music. So it was like, all right, cool. So then, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was like, how else do you want to go? And I was like, well, of course, like 4 on the floor, yeah. But like, let's not go like traditional. Like, let's find some like other different elements. So we were just kind of like tinkering around. And then we had my homegirl G.L.A.M in the studio, who was like rapping on the song with me, and then my other homegirl Julia Romana. So it's like we're just just tinkering around with sounds and stuff. And we was playing with like a top line on the keyboard, and we couldn't find it. So then my homegirl G.L.A.M, who's a rapper, she was like, "Can I try something on the keyboard?" And she tried it, and it was like everybody was like, and like she just pretty much like and it was insane. We have video of it. And we also had this Juno, which is like one of the keyboards I was using Thriller, the Michael Jackson album Thriller. And so we would just kind of tinker around with those sounds and everything, and those are like more so in the chorus. And then finally, my homegirl Julia, she sang the chorus, and it just took it to like that next level. So it was just a lot of just like a bunch of homies in the studio playing around.
And I feel like that comes across with the song too, like just the fun of it. Mm-hmm. And then before that, earlier this month, you released Find a Way, which came with a super dope animated video. Mm-hmm. You shared on social media that it was important to you to see more Black characters in animation. So I would love to like hear a little bit more about your vision for like that specific music video, and then like the world and sort of story that was created within it.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I can backtrack. I went to Disneyland last year, maybe like fall of last year. And, I was just walking around and I just noticed that it just wasn't a lot of Black characters, like they do the little mascots that like walk around Disneyland. And I was just like, all right, cool. If I had like a daughter or a son, I would want them to see more characters that like look like them, just so they can feel that like inspiration at a young age. So I wanted to take it upon myself to start, like pushing that agenda, whether it be through my own personal things, whether it be through animation, whether it be through maybe starting a Black animation company, whether, just finding new avenues to like start having that imagery and like making it more of a norm, So fast forward, we make the song Find a Way. And to tell you the truth, that wasn't even like my thoughts for that specific song. It kind of just came full circle. We got a pitch from this CG company, and it was like they wanted to do it. They wanted to do a video that's pretty much all CG, and of course the 4 people that's on the song, we're all Black. So it's like they're gonna just animate us and put us in this like crazy like utopian but dystopia world. And when it all started coming together, I was like, oh. Like this is what I've been wanting. So it was really serendipitous. But yeah, it was crazy. It just all came together, and it seemed like the final version of it. It looks like something that I can play like my little niece, or my nephew, or play, when I have future kids, or any kids. That's something that they can see and just be like, oh look, like they look like me, and that was super important to me. And then even with it, when at the end of the film, it's like these 4 characters like are going through a dystopia, but then they finally get to a utopian type of land, or it's like phantasmal like land and stuff that kind of looks like Tomorrowland. Not purposely, but it kind of looks like a Tomorrowland, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, once again, another coincidence that it's weird. My life is like that. Like I put something out there and then like it answers in a really trippy way. But that's really how that came about.
So both of those tracks are going to be a part of your upcoming album, SuperGood. What are you most looking forward to about sharing this project, especially given that it's your first full-length studio album?
I think the biggest thing is, and this was the feeling I had for it going into it, because for years I've been wanting to make this album. I actually had the name for this album since 2013, and like just the feeling of it, I've had it since 2013, but I never was in the right space with myself mentally and energy-wise to be able to present an album that felt like a celebration, or an album that was made with nothing but just love and joy and stuff like that, and to have that energy pushed out, you know? And it's like, you know, throughout the 2010s, it was mainly like, it was a trap era, you know? So it's like a lot of the tones of that whole decade was like a bit darker. So, you know, I was just like riding the wave, but it's like, now that like COVID has happened and like, you know, all the protesting and stuff, even though that protesting's been going on for a long time, but now that that's happened and my album is coming out later this year, I feel like this album is a celebration, like of life, one, in general. Like I wanted it to feel like a celebration, but also too, it's an appreciation for Black music, because and Black rhythm, because it's R&B on there, it's house on there, it's a gospel, it's rap, it's Afrobeat. You know, these are all the different elements that, like, you know, just create Black music in that sense. And it's just like, I just want to be able to like have another nod to that contribution, and just be like, yes, we're here, you know, especially right now, because I think biggest thing is Black people need those affirmations, because you look on the news, you scroll down Instagram, and it's just like, it's nothing but bad news. So more affirmations are needed, and I want my album to be literally that. But then also that plus just a celebration of life in general. When you come to the show, you're gonna like, when we can have shows again, you're gonna come to sweat. You're gonna come to have a good time. You're gonna come in with all your weight on your shoulders. You're gonna leave it on the floor, and you're gonna leave out with something brand new. So that's album performance. I want all of it to feel like a celebration.
In the process of working on it, like, what did it feel like for you? Did it feel like a celebration? What emotions sort of came up, and how did it feel when you were working on it?
We felt the celebration aspect of it when it was done. But when we were making it, we were just like, man, how can we make something like just crazy and not even saying different, just how can we push ourselves so that it can just be like colorful and just like textured and flavorful, and something that just like make people want to groove in some type of way. Like that was the biggest thing. Like there are some songs on there that are like more cerebral or more like chill, but for a good amount of them, it's some type of rhythm. You're gonna get some type of rhythm in there. So I think the celebration aspect of it came after, but for the most part, creating it, everybody was just stoked. We were just happy to be creating.
Speaking of collaboration and working with people, like, you've worked with a pretty rad, like, diverse group of artists over the years, like on your music and on their music too. But do you have any dream collabs that have yet to be realized that you want to speak into existence?
Yeah, for sure. Rosalia, for sure, Rosalia. Like, yes, of course, Pharrell. Like, you know, 3 Stacks, like Stevie Wonder. I wanna produce something with Tyler. Like, he produces it. Like, not even specifically looking for like a vocal feature. We just get in and we just try to create some like really wild shit. But those are the tops for sure.
Your music has also been featured on quite a few different like shows and films. But I was curious of what the placement of Michael on Insecure felt like for you.
Flames. I get to be a part of that history. It's a female Black TV show, like ran by a strong Black woman. Like, that's insane. Like, that's insane. And then she has her own like label now where she can like bring in musicians to curate the music and score the music for the show. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to be on that, it's just like, that's like one of the best compliments of this decade, in the last decade. So yeah, that was tight.
I think a really important thing that's been coming up in conversation and is really important to keep talking about and actually take action on is how the entertainment industry can better support and uplift Black artists. And so what do you think both music fans and the wider entertainment industry can do to better support Black artists?
It's a lot of answers. Because when I think about it, my main thing is more so building like Black economics. So it's like seeing the value in Black businesses in general, you know what I'm saying? Having that dollar circulate in the Black communities. So that's, you know, like buying to black grocery stores or you know, more barbershops or not even, well, yeah, barbershops, but I've only seen one Black theater, which is the Magic Johnson Theater, you know what I'm saying? So it's like more of those and even having like more healthier like options of food, you know, that are Black owned as well. Black health stores, everything that you see in other communities, I like to see in Black communities. And then like being able to build those economics. And I think having that model will like span into like other places because I think you see the support in Black artistry in a sense. But I guess more so it's the respect for Black artistry is what I want to see. So it's like, even what Tyler kind of spoke on, where you would say like, oh, like this music genre can be placed anywhere, but for some reason when it's Black, it's just placed in urban. You know what I'm saying? Which is just like we're, you know what I'm saying? We're so advanced. You know what I'm saying? Our technology is growing exponentially, but we're still dealing with these like issues that are kind of like, for me, it's kind of Neanderthalish. I think musically it's just respect for Black artistry and being able to like be placed in different places, like more Black artists in pop, you know, like that would be major. And it's like, for me, like I'm not like heavy like on pop, like, you know, listening to pop all the time, but I do understand the importance of seeing like a Lizzo in pop, you know, like that's important. And seeing more, you know what I'm saying, like more Black faces in pop music, because that opens up the door for like other artists to come after them. And it becomes like a norm. It doesn't have to be this conversation of like, oh, you can't put them there because they're Black. But yeah, it's that plus like just circulating that dollar in the Black community and like helping it grow. But like, if I want to do a release party, you know what I'm saying, I want to look lit. So I'm gonna do the release party on Melrose, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna just be like, oh, big flex, you know what I'm saying? I did it on Melrose, or I did it in like Hollywood, but it's just like, fuck that. Like, why not just do that in South Central? Why not do that in Inglewood? If I want to do a gallery showing, you know, like I can do that. I would maybe do that in like some other place. But I'm like, okay, cool. Let me do that in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Because then like that would just bring value and that bring equity to those communities, you know? And it brings a different view, a different perspective, and then people will be able to want to invest more. It's just gonna be more people doing it in these neighborhoods. And very big question. I got a lot of answers to that.
What's up, y'all? This is B.O.B.
This is G-Eazy.
I'm Mo. This is Julia Michaels.
This is Logic. Make sure you subscribe to the Recording Academy channel. Flex.